So here we are on episode 4 of The Apprentice, and we've got some major crying attitude issues. And again, the women's team is unable to think for themselves, and they are now in a restaurant challenge. However, in this restaurant challenge, the person who was involved in restaurants is no longer there because they got her voted off. So there's strategic plans of getting rid of individuals who have specific talents while they bully those particular individuals because they want to feel powerful and they want to experience money. They have no customers. These people have no customer service skills and they have no business sense at all. They have bully tactics. This is Apprentice episode 4 where they're remodeling and creating a restaurant, and it's a shock. It's just shocking. The women's team is just absolutely shocking. I just cannot believe these people. This is actually what's going on in influencer marketing, by the way. And what comes up for me is, as citizens and customers, would businesses close if your person, I was going to say provider, which would be somebody in the medical field, if your provider wasn't providing a service, why are they still open? Why are they still being paid? This is capitalism failing in grotesque levels of high capacity, delivering on the end of your businesses, because everything is replaceable. This is a common knowledge conversation in business, that everyone's replaceable in any business. Just like Elvis is not popular any longer, not like he used to be. Just like what we're watching in any industry, every one of you is replaceable. And I don't know who these people think they are, because we're kind of right now bouncing around in modern day to where we are in the, I don't know what year season 2 came out. But what I'm really recognizing is that you as Gen Z have not earned anyone's respect. You're gross people. You're just gross. This generation, the entire generation, is gnarly. Gnarly in the way of nasty. You have no professionalism. You have no business sense. You have no skill in education, in entertainment, in bringing value. And you work off of seduction. We could take a survey about this with any individual, and you will know that every person that has ever watched your content can't stand any of you. They can't stand you, and so you water down your conversations with people to disrespect others, and then you expect respect in return. And this is the business model of New York City and the business model of LA, which then is distributed on influencer platform to disrupt your customers' lives. What we're watching is a bunch of millennial and Gen Zs destroy children's lives. This is a concern. This is a big concern. No, you take a look and you take responsibility. You can cuss at me all that you want, but the reality is you've been living off the power of the purse in the form of viral pieces of content off of a DEMOCRAT party that has been failing for quite some time since you allowed Obama to be your leader, while you tried to destroy this country, while you tried to make Kim Kardashian an educator and a leader on how women are supposed to behave. So this is the concern I have for audience members is, what, you're not going to stand up to fight for your family? So you can allow a woman who wears a bikini to masterbate in front of your faces, while we're now watching the sister Kylie stand in front of Timothy Chalamet and rub all over that dude while she's basically having sex at Coachella? Take a look at yourselves and how gross you all are. How gross it is to bring an infant to Coachella. How gross your performances are. It is absolutely embarrassing to watch Spencer Pratt and that woman he calls his wife perform on stage, and her unwillingness to take responsibility, and how fucking embarrassing she is. Do you understand how little dignity these people have? That means those of you who show up to those concerts and those pavilions and those locations, such as what we're watching with Paris Hilton, are embarrassing. It's embarrassing to watch. It should be humiliating for Paris Hilton. However, as an American citizen in this country, what do you think it takes for someone in the mind of that to continue to produce content like that? What kind of mindset do you think they have? To do the things that Paris Hilton has done in her life, in her lifetime, what kind of mindset and what kind of fantasy world does she live in? How do you find that relatable, and why would you ever want to be like that? Why would you ever want to participate in Kim Kardashian in her weird ass personality while she tries to point fingers at Kylie Jenner? That's the modern day business professional of all influencers, as they're all trying to be just like that to compete with that. However, the whole market is saying that we do not want that. We want actual real education so that our lives can be better, not so that we can make Paris Hilton's life even richer and more powerful so that she can go to the US Capitol and tell us how we're supposed to live. I'm not really sure how you think this expands into foreign policy. The problem with all of you is that you have no common sense because the Democrats tried to take it away from you. You allowed these little millennial and Gen Z children to walk the streets with your old asses with no intellect. To tell us about your feelings versus appropriate behavior. You're not adults any longer. You've now diminished yourselves into little scumbags who support Palestine because you found a scapegoat where you would be heard and noticed, but nobody's really actually listening because you're screaming so loud and whatever you deliver is nonsense. I know it's shocking for you to know and realize that you've effed up really big, really big. You effed up so big that you would never work in this town again, but not because anyone did that to you, but because you made videos about it. You did videos and photography where you attacked an innocent American, that would be me, so that you could go to a party called the White Party while you parade around in your dance video. Think about what I just said. Think about what I just said. See, they expose their entire culture to make Americans stronger. Do you understand what we've been doing? How they tried to overthrow the American people, but Americans, as I've always known, are stronger than any country on the globe. So while you tried to battle me and act like you were going to take power and all that dumb shit that you tried to create in your pussy-ass mind, I'm over here educating people on what's really going on while you live in your little perception and your fantasy world of how you're going to get ahead. No, I said you just wanted you to get ahead. Because that's the realization about most of these people, legacy media included. So that only you could be the famous one and the rich one, while all of us have to, behave just like Kim Kardashian? While she abuses us sexually? And then all of you are just going to say, well, I'm afraid of her and that energy, that devil energy that you go to church to fight every Sunday. And you're just going to allow that shit to happen. So are there more people that go to church on Sunday than not go to church on Sunday? I mean, you tell me about Coachella and how those people behave and interact. Why would anyone want to be a part of that? Oh, because they want to be part of the cool club? Because they want to be respected by the companies that actually matter? I mean, this is some really major evidence coming through for those of you who really are and have been up to absolutely nothing, like Kay and Tay, on your social media influencer. You might want to consider that you're going to lose everything, including Ellie and the baby that's growing inside of Tay. Oh, I mean Kay. Oh, wait a minute, because modern day says that men can have babies. So who's pregnant? Why don't you elaborate a little bit on that, Tay? Tell us a little bit about what your ideology around TRANS and a man carrying a child and how evolution would evolve that into the sickest generation in history, because that's on your shoulders. And that's the realization that all of you need to come to, because these people have nothing to offer and nothing to say, and they sure as hell aren't intelligent enough to have that kind of money. Well, I think that I'm just so pretty. Oh, that's really going to make a difference.